Hello, welcome to 2022. My name is Germana. I am the founder and the owner of Able Body Consulting and Heart Consulting in Nanaimo, BC. And this is one of a series of Wellness Wednesday videos that I am providing for people that want to take care of their body and their mind and their emotional center and just take those nuggets to create stability, fun, happiness, simply by doing a few simple things that we often just forget to do. So today's video is going to be on legs, our glutes, our legs, and our lower abdominals. So I'm going to do a little circuit that you can do when you're at home. You don't need a lot of equipment. You'll see I just have this bench with a yoga mat, and I have a band here, and we also have the floor, which we will use. So what I'd like you to do, if you want to participate in this, then you would just hit pause, get yourself ready, and then come back and hit play again, and then we'll work. The exercises that I pick are designed to give you stable, functional legs and a nice core. Most people, we do a lot of sit-ups, and what happens is we often end up really damaging our neck because we're pulling the head up and down, and the exercises that I'm going to select today are really designed to facilitate strength, one side to the other side, stability, balance, coordination, without putting stress on the spine. They're called spine-sparing exercises. So I'm going to show you a few that you can do, and if you have a bench, you can also use a corner of a bed, which works just the same. The first one's going to be a warm-up. You don't need the band, but I'm going to use the band. Some people will have them. So we're going to come onto the bench. We're going to walk the feet apart a little bit and pull up on the toes, and I want you just to lift up and hold and then slowly come down. When you come up, I want you to clench your bum together like a fist. We're going to do 15, 20 reps, but I want you just to sit there and go down and then clench your bum and then release. We're going to do this as a warm-up so that when we go into the other exercises, that your body is capable of doing those, because we've taken the blood from our intestinal tract and we're bringing it into our legs. So I'm actually watching the clock instead of doing a counting approach here, and doing this for a full minute would definitely get some of the blood to be going to your legs. And again, what I'm going to ask that you do is load your heels. When you come up, do a little pregnant pause and then lower again. The circuit that I'm going to provide today is something that if you do it at home, you could do the exercises in a cycle up to 3 to 4 times. And from there, you're going to be like, okay, thank you very much. And you're going to come right down. That's a full minute. So we've done one set of bridges to warm up on the bench or your bed. Your bed would need to be pretty firm. You can also do this on the floor, but I'm going to use the bench. A lot of people are really, interested in training their glutes. Your glutes fill up your pants, and they also support your back. So I'm going to take my shoulder blades and leave them on the edge of this bench. And I'm going to push out into that bend, and I'm going to spin my tailbone up like a wheel. And now I'm going to stay here. I'm just shimmy almost off, but I'm spinning my tailbone up. So my navel descends into the body. I'm not jacking my low back up and compressing it. So at this point, this is called an isometric. I am not moving, but I'm flexing this. And so what happens here is it creates rigidity, and that's what you want. You want the body to be used to tension, and then you add movement. So this is called a concentric movement, and then we're going to lower. Isometric, and this is a concentric. We're shortening the muscle, we're lengthening. Shortening, lengthening. So this is a movement pattern that you would do when you get up and down out of a chair. So it's a safer way to do a squat, and it's a wonderful way to train your legs. And if you add that awareness to your glutes, then you get a really, really nice workout for your glutes. So I'm going to do this for a minute. So we've done a 30-second pause, and we're doing a full minute of this. And if you're quite strong, then you could add a weight that you could put on here, and I'll show something like that next week with a barbell if you like. But the whole time I'm putting pressure on that band, and I'm lowering and lifting, lowering and lifting, lowering and lifting. And I'm starting to get tired, and if you're working with me, my hope is that you are as well. Okay, now I'm going to unhook, and I'm going to roll back. So, I'm going to take that band off. Now this is for your lower abs. It's a spine sparing exercise. After about 35, the discs in the back change. Slip your hands underneath your lower back, where your waistline is. Move your legs out and spin your tailbone up and then hold and pretend you're sipping air out of a straw. So what happens is the discs get shorter and smaller and the spine degenerates slowly. That's why people get shorter. And so the training approach needs to be modified to protect the person from getting hurt. If they come back into fitness and they go, man, I started to get fit and I got really hurt. Now, keep that tailbone coming up, take one leg and tag down 8 times. But as I'm lowering that leg, this is a spine-sparing exercise, I'm spinning my tailbone up. It's a great way to train your abdominals without picking up your head. And it also will train your pelvic floor. So if someone struggles with incontinence, change over, or they've recently had a baby and they've had some challenges with the stress of that on the poor body, this is a great functional rehab exercise to help remedy that stressor. Having a baby is, I call it a traumatic event. It's hard, it's not fun, it's hard. So now that whole lower abdominal region is nice and fatigued. Now, we're gonna take the legs down and I'm gonna roll up. So we've done one bridge here to warm up, one bridge out here. We've done lower abdominals, which is known as a levitt. It's an exercise that was taught to me by Dr. Stuart McGill. The next exercise, and those 2 might be enough, you might just do 4 sets of those. The next one's called the Bulgarian Squat. Fabulous for training your glutes and your balance. The leading cause of death in the world is falling because of people lose awareness of where they are in space. And training your legs is one of the most effective ways to protect yourself from falling. And it's great to keep your lean muscle mass up, coordination, strength, muscle tone. All of those things are extras. I would ask you to take your weakest leg forward, your strongest leg backwards, and you just leave your toe there. Now, if this is like, oh my God, I'm gonna fall, you take a chair. I have a dowel here, and you just use it so you don't fall, so you've got some stability. This is soft. This is barely being used, and I'm gonna sit down in my front leg and then stand up 10 times. Good. Now, if possible, I spin my tailbone forward so I'm not collapsing the pelvis, which a lot of people will do naturally without even thinking about change legs. So if you can, you take your tailbone and you spin it forward so your pelvis doesn't buckle. You're spinning under. Your spine is in that pelvis, and then you lower your weight. And it does get easier with time. Up front, it's probably a little bit scary. One more. And that's fairly challenging. Now I'm going to put this baby back, and I'm going to show you a few other exercises to, again, complement the workout. So we've done glutes, lower abs, glutes. We're going to do some upper abs. So I'm going to get you to just cradle the back of your head with your fingertips. You're going to pick the shoulder blades off the ground. I'm going to go elbow, touch, elbow, down. So again, pull the elbow to the body, touch the calf, center, down. Elbow, touch, elbow, down again. So this is fairly hard for me. Your body gets good at what you're used to, so you want to change the routine as much as you can. This is 10 on this side. 1, 2, 3, and then release. I'm going to do the other side. I'm just going to wait a few moments. Again, now we're picking up the weight of the head, which weighs as much as a bowling ball. So it's important that you're not twerking on it or leaving your head dangling. So we're going to cradle the head again. You're going to lift. Shoulder blades are off the ground. So it's elbow, touch, elbow, down. Crunch on the side, touch, crunch, back. Crunch, touch. Again. This is 9. And this is 10. Good. Now here's a wonderful stretch for people that do a lot of sitting. Watch. You take your bum, you sneak right to the edge, and you just leave your feet on the floor, and you let the heels ground. And if you can, you let your arms open, and say if we sit here for 30 to 60 seconds. If you do a few cycles through, don't do this stretch. You would say this for the end. What this does is it puts your body into what's called as a relaxation response, and we want your body to be active and ready to go when you're training. But this is for some people, they'll be so tight here, they'll actually feel achy here. For people that do a lot of sitting, this is a great way of helping the body and the low back and the hips have some balance again, which I think is the key word for this time in the world, is looking how do we put some balance into our life. Taking time for our body is one of the single most kind things we can do. We live in a society that unfortunately has us always in our mind thinking racing, 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 instead of looking after the thing that allows us to have a life and allows us to make money and talk to people and do fun things. If we don't take care of this, eventually there's a massive cost, and it's usually being sick or weak or injured, which is very normal, and that's usually what brings people to me. That's why I get a lot of my clients. So I'm going to come out of this now, and I'm going to walk back, and I'm going to take one leg over like this, catch the ankles, let the head rest, and pull the knees towards my chin any amount, and that'll stretch deep into the hips. I call this the Pretzel Pose. And so I've been lucky enough to be a fitness professional for well over 30 years. And sometimes I just pinch myself. I'm so fortunate because I stuck with it. It's not an easy industry at all because it sells a lot of contradictions, release, women, images of women that are incredibly beautiful and sexual, and they're idealized as this is what we think beautiful and healthy is, and often it's not practical or realistic. So that turns a lot of people off. And we all need to be functional. We all need to have a body that works. And if it doesn't, then we take time to learn how to get it to work again, which is what I do for a living. Now gently unhook. That's a nice stretch for your hip. And I'm going to roll to the side and come over and then up. I hope that you found something here that you can use to take care of yourself. If you decide to do this workout for yourself, you could do this 3 times a week, like a Monday and a Wednesday and a Friday, and you would do 3 to 4 sets. We did 1 set today. You would save the stretches for the end. So I do hope that you find some joy in taking care of this most precious thing that you happen to live in. It's a gift, it's your body, and it matters, and you matter. And thank you for your time. If you like the video, feel free to share it, subscribe, make a comment. I'm still learning about YouTube. It's not my strength, but I'm willing to do the work. Thank you so much, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.